Hi, I'm Jade. I do effects animation for Blue Mammoth Games, and I did the effects for Lin Fei. Initially, one of our animators, Daryl I believe in this case, did the effects animation for her. Now what we do is he'll give me like a rough breakdown of what the move's going to be. We usually start with the rough signatures. Before we've even designed specifics about the character, we start with the movement kit and kind of get a theme or flavor for the character. Very early on, wuxia was kind of a theme that we wanted to push with this character. As you can see from the sketches, like dragons were kind of a thing early on. We thought that might be a cool theme to the kit. Instead of a move on the kit, we were like, let's see how many dragons we can get into this kit. Like you can see the actual dragon face in the rough sketch for the effects. After the character animators have gotten the okay from the team, the concepts are kind of where everybody wants them, I come in and I start sketching, just trying to see what we can do with that move, with those effects, and with the stubbed in hitboxing, because we don't want to change that very much. We usually test the hitboxing, the effective attack range of the signatures in the rough phase, just to make sure that the kit is viable and not broken, or at least useful. So once all that's been confirmed, I can start sketching. That's when I can start like drawing these different types of dragons and things. And since dragons were going to be a big theme for this character, I did a little bit of research on different types of dragons. I leaned primarily Chinese. That still gave me a lot to work with. Like a lot of the themes played with like different animals. Like the concept of the dragon was a mix of several different creatures in one, which is really cool. The dragons were often associated with weather and water, which I also thought was cool. And in a couple of the sketches you can see that we started to mess with like storm dragons and water dragons and not just fire-based dragons. As cool as the idea of a storm dragon would be, it didn't quite suit the kit, especially like the pace of the attacks and the amount of space that we had to work with, so it ended up being a fire dragon. Once we decide on that, I go into the rough phase, and that's where I get to start messing around with like, well, if we're going to do fire, I'll mess around with these smoke trails. I wanted to do something thematically different than the other characters, so I added these swirls to the smoke. So I did the rough for the smoke pass first, and then afterwards I did a dragon pass and then a fire pass after the dragon pass. So in the cleanup phase, I like the swirly smoke concept, but I was running into some issues with color palette because I was kind of concepting some of these out at the same time that we were working on Jiro. Initially, I think if you look in the sketches, there were some like dark purples and things, and I was pretty bent on that at first. And then, Jiro's palette went more in that direction, so I was like, oh no. So I wasn't entirely sure where the color palette was going to go after that. So I ended up doing a lot of color comps, trying to find a good contrast so that you could tell where the active hitbox areas were going to be in all of this smoke, because she was going to be throwing a bunch of effects everywhere, and I needed a way to distinguish between the threat area and flavor. And thankfully, on like the last day before launch, I managed to get some help from two of our illustrators, Dave and Rachel. We kind of got together and they gave me some really good ideas for potential color comps, and I worked that into the final design. I think the final color palette came from Rachel. It was a nice home run at the last minute, I think, from them. That helped me a ton. But that's the general process. From rough concept, from the character animators, sketch phase for me, then the rough animations, cleanup pass, cleanup pass, cleanup pass. And then in this case, a color pass right before the end, so that's how she wound up where she is. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Jade. Again, I am the effects animator at one of the effects animators at Blue Mammoth Games.